Hi guys, welcome back. It's Fazana here. Today we're going to talk about sleep, why it's important, and how I get my regimented 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night by using some very easy and simple sleep hygiene habits. So the first habit I want to mention is about digital screens. I try and minimize the amount of light from a digital screen I expose myself to in the evenings. For example, I'll try and switch off my phone maybe around between 8 and 9 to give myself enough time to wind down for bed. So I will turn my phone off and put it out of sight so I'm not tempted to reach out and turn it on if I can't go to sleep. Especially in the lockdown, I found it really difficult to switch off from devices without physically turning it off, because obviously everyone's keeping in touch via FaceTime and just WhatsApping and that kind of things, and I found it really tempting to just reach out for my phone if it's within my sight. So turning it off and putting it away in a locked drawer or just in a different room, I found quite helpful. The other thing I try and do is also not watch TV or Netflix, and also not read on an electronic device, because it just keeps me thinking about looking at a screen. Whether I'm looking at an iPad or a Kindle or anything, it just makes me think I'm looking at a digital screen, and I get tempted to maybe like turn on YouTube or something, and I'll again go back to reaching for my phone. So what I find helpful is just completely not having digital screen for the last hour of my bed. What I'll try and do is maybe read a physical book or try and journal or something that involves me not looking at a screen, because it's getting really hard. My screen time has been through the roof over the lockdown period, and I'm really trying to cut down on that and trying to bring my mind back to a more restful state, because what I found as I use more and more digital screen, my mind is very restless and I find it really hard to kind of switch it off as I'm going to sleep. The other thing that's quite helpful is if I'm finding it difficult to fall asleep and can't really switch my mind off, if I've been awake in bed for about 20 minutes or so, I'll get out of bed, I'll come and sit in my chair and maybe read a book, or try and use some of the techniques I've picked up in the Headspace app, things like body scanning or just counting my breath. In a Secret Santa a couple of years ago, I got this book. It's called The Little Book of Mindfulness. It's about £5 in Amazon, and it has a lot of good techniques of how to use mindfulness exercises, and also thinking about how you can slow down anywhere, anytime, without having to use anything too difficult, and just by counting your breaths in a certain way, you can just slow your body down. I find that quite helpful for relaxing as well. The next habit is I try and eat quite early. By early, I'm not talking about 5 p.m. I try and eat latest by 7:30 p.m. because I try and get into bed about 10:30. So it gives me a good solid 3-hour window of like just digesting my food, not feeling too full when I'm in bed, and also just thinking about maybe reducing my water intake as well. The second habit is about temperature. I tend to get cold quite easily, especially my feet, so what I used to do is overcompensate by wearing socks and like putting the heating up. Obviously that wasn't very helpful because it used to take me ages to fall asleep. So I picked this trick up from Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's podcast. I'll link it in the description box below. It's about getting the temperature a little bit cooler in your room when you're going to sleep. I think the reasoning behind that is, so in nature, nighttime temperature tends to be lower than daytime temperature, so I think evolution has kind of programmed our bodies to expect that, and we tend to sleep better in a cooler temperature. So what I try and do now is have the window open for a short while in the evening, so my room is slightly cooler as I'm going into bed, and I also try and kind of dress lighter for bed as well, so I'm not wearing like really thick flannel pajamas where I'm going to be too warm and wake up in the middle of the night and have like restless sleep. And my last habit is I try and get in and out of bed at a similar time every day. I think the benefit of that is your body gets used to that habit, and you get used to kind of going to bed at a similar time. So you start feeling tired around the same time every day, and that kind of helps you stick to that habit. As you start building this habit and start waking up at similar time every day, you may find that you no longer need to use an alarm clock. And what is good about that is that your body will then wake up feeling very zen and restful, rather than waking up to a jolt of a loud sound. I picked this up in Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's book, The Stress Solution, and he talks about how having these micro stresses throughout the day actually has a much worse impact on your body, because you're constantly facing a stress situation. And if you can minimize those things, generally throughout your day you'll feel a lot more relaxed, and that will be good for your health as a whole. So yeah, having that has been really helpful for me, and I haven't used an alarm clock in quite a few years now. I find it really great waking up naturally rather than having to wake up to something that wasn't planned, and my body kind of reacts adversely to that as well. So just to recap, the habits that I follow are having no digital screens before bed, trying to read a physical book, meditating if you can, eating a few hours before bed so you can digest your food, trying to keep the temperature in your room a little bit cooler, trying to get to bed at a similar time every day. I've adopted these habits over quite a few years. I think it can be overwhelming if you're trying to do too many things at the same time. So if you do want to adopt any of these habits, I recommend maybe trying it out one at a time and seeing what works for you. Don't feel like you have to try them all, because I have tried various things and these are just some of the things that has helped me. That doesn't necessarily mean it's applicable to everyone. So try them out in your own time and see what works for you. These habits have helped me be more productive in my days, and I hope it will do the same for you. Let me know if there's any habits that you do that have helped you to get much more quality, better night's sleep. Feel free to share them down below. I'm curious to know what people's bedtimes are, so please, if you've gotten to this section of the video, do comment in the comment section below and let me know what your bedtime is, because I always get told by my friends that I go to bed too early. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.